happen to Kawhi.
It happens. That's all. It happens. Look, he had a bad fourth quarter. He had admitted he didn't shoot it enough, in fact. And I think actually that is part of the problem. Stephen A. Here's Kawhi's game. It's perfect, except for one thing that isn't pitched at a very high level. That's his passing. His passing's only okay. He's not a great passer. Giannis is a great passer, I think underrated. Obviously, LeBron is a great passer. KD is a good passer. And Kawhi is not really a great passer. I mean, he's much more of an ISO player, I think, than people realize. You think of him as a team guy, but on offense, he can put on a show at this point in his career. His teammates stand around. That's what happened against Boston. I think they knew he couldn't do that against Milwaukee. Other guys had to get involved. And that's what they did. And it was working. Now he has to recalibrate. In the fourth quarter, he's still got to take over late. But it happens, Stephen A. He didn't play well. You see his demeanor after the game. He's like, no excuses. You know, we weren't hitting shots, and he'll be hitting shots in the fourth quarter in the series. Don't worry about it.
Well, you should be worried. You should be very worried because it's one game into the series, and I'm already ready to declare this series is over. They can't beat these boys. I'm going to tell you that right now. Just watch.
They were winning for most of the game.
You know, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because, see, I'm not going to go Paul Pierce on you and tell you the series is over like, oh, my God, they're going to get swept or anything like that. I'm just saying the conclusion is what it is. Milwaukee is just a bit too big, and the individuals that you need to help Kawhi Leonard, it's going to be problematic. Mirotic is 6'10". Brook Lopez is 7'1". Antetokounmpo is 6'11", 7 feet tall. Middleton is 6'8". So what I'm trying to say to you is the kind of things that you saw from Kawhi, slashing to the basket and making things happen throughout these playoffs, they're going to make him, not to say that he can't do it because we know he can shoot, but they're going to make him more of a perimeter shooter than he may want to be. We saw the key block late in the game by Lopez on Kawhi, another turnover forced by Lopez because Kawhi went into the paint, into the lane or what have you. He's not making any excuses, no need to. We know he's elite. We know he's special. But I would also ask you to consider something, Max, that I think you might appreciate. Look at how Kawhi Leonard shoots. It's one thing when Kevin Durant, even though he gets an arc on his shot, it's one thing when Kevin Durant is shooting something, considering the fact that he's a legit 6'10", 6'11". I don't give a damn what they say. I don't know where they get 6'9" from. Kevin Durant is not 6'9". But when you look at it from Kawhi Leonard, a lot of his shots look like the line drive variety and what have you. Now, that's not literal, of course, because he's only 6'8". You got to go up to, you got to shoot a 10-foot rim. But what I'm saying to you is that arc that you see from everybody else, the Steph Curry, the Klay Thompson of the world, and others, that's not the kind of shooter that Kawhi Leonard is. So when he shoots those perimeter shots over taller defenders in this series than he had to face against Philadelphia, for example, I think it's going to be a little bit difficult, and it's going to call for somebody else to help him. Kyle Lowry, is he going to have another 30-point game? I don't think people assume that. Pascal Siakam goes the last 3 quarters scoring only 6 points. Marc Gasol, you got him defending Brook Lopez. You should have had Serge Ibaka defending. You can make adjustments there. But my proclamation is that the Toronto Raptors do not have enough offensive firepower to offset what Milwaukee will inevitably be able to throw at them.
I think some of that's very good basketball analysis. Of course, you have to remember that Kawhi, in the shot that sent home Philadelphia by getting around 6'10" Ben Simmons and shooting it over high arc. That's why he got the shooter's bounce. It went up and down and bounced around the rim and in because it was, high arc backspin over Joel Embiid's outstretched arm, 7-1. So Kawhi can absolutely do that, though I get your point. I think it's a good one. I, too, think Milwaukee has a little too much. I thought that they were going to have a dynasty a couple years ago, possibly partly because of their length. To have that kind of shooting and that kind of defense at that length, like Brook Lopez is not a good defensive player, but he's a good rim defender. So they have a guy who can shoot the three as prolifically as he does and then also defend the rim. I agree with you. We both think Milwaukee's going to win the series. But to say this series is over after a game 1 on the road where Toronto was leading for most of it, where Kawhi wasn't shooting and not shooting well in the fourth quarter, that ain't going to happen too much. A lot of things had to go the Bucks' way in order for them to scratch out a win against Toronto. I don't think the series is over at all. And by the way,
as a boxer, as a boxing analyst, you can appreciate the fact that you see a fighter and he's incredibly, incredibly talented and can beat most guys. And he might be better against everybody else than this particular guy. But styles makes fights, and I think the Raptors are tailor-made for Milwaukee. That's my problem with this match.
I don't know if they're tailor-made. I think it's going to be a very tough series, but I also like Milwaukee. I want to show you something, though, Stephen A. Do you recall how apoplectic you went when I said that Kawhi is better under pressure than Kobe Bryant about a week ago?
Yeah.
All right, yes. We got to go there again?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
Lord.
What about KD? I want to show you something. I want to show you I want to show you a graphic. Okay, Here are fourth quarter struggles in Kobe Bryant's career against the Spurs in a Game 6, 2 points, 1 for 7 field goal. 4 points on 1 for 10 at Suns, Game 1. By the way, he also had a bad Game 7 that series late in the game, and they lost the series. 2010 at Thunder, 4 points on 2 for 10. 2012 versus Thunder, minus 14 real plus minus, 2 for 10 from the floor. Kobe Bryant also had bad games and bad fourth quarters in the playoffs. KD, same sort of thing. 0 points against the Rockets in 2013, 0 for 5 from the floor. 1 point against the Grizzlies, 14, 0 for 6 from the floor. 1 for 7 from the floor against the Warriors in 2016. These are all fourth quarters, by the way. Real plus minus was minus 15 in 11 minutes. 2 points against the Rockets, 2018. Last year, 0 for 4. This is a fourth quarter from the field. I mean, like, KD has struggled badly in the fourth quarter. So has Kobe. So has every player who's ever played the game. And that includes Kawhi Leonard. But Kawhi Leonard is a stupidly clutch player. You could even hear him after the game talking to the media saying, like, we didn't play well. He's going to be fine, and he'll have some big fourth quarters in this series.